I thought it was over. I really, truly did. After the mirror incident, after facing that reflection, after what I saw down there in the dark, I ran. I never looked back. But some doors, they don't close all the way, do they? They just swing shut, the latch never quite catching. They wait. They wait for you to feel safe again. Pause. Faint whisper. 9, 10. It started in my dreams. That number, 10, over and over again like a broken record player in my subconscious. At first I dismissed it, stress, trauma, whatever you want to call it, but it felt different. It felt intentional, like a countdown ticking away in the back of my mind. Or maybe it was a warning about what was coming next. Rain ambience, soft thunder. I moved out, packed everything I owned in a single day and just left. I had to start over. New city, new apartment, new phone number, a completely new life. I figured if I put enough distance between me and that place, I could finally breathe again. I found a nice little spot on the 3rd floor of an old but well-kept building. For the first time in months, I felt a flicker of hope, but the very first night in my new apartment, I found something waiting for me, something that shouldn't have been there. At the far end of the hallway, right past my unit, there was a door. It wasn't on the building plans, and it wasn't there when I first viewed the apartment. It had no number, no handle, no peephole, just a slab of wood so dark it looked like it had been charred in a fire. It absorbed the light. My blood ran cold. I immediately called the landlord. His voice was a bit groggy, annoyed I was calling so late. I explained the situation, trying to keep my voice steady. A door at the end of the 3rd floor hall? No, you must be mistaken. It's just a solid wall there, always has been. I insisted. I told him I was looking right at it. He sighed, told me I was probably just tired from the move and to get some rest. I snapped a photo and sent it to him, thinking that would prove it. The message status just spun and spun, and then message failed to send. I tried again, same result. He never replied after that. A cold dread crept up my spine, but a morbid curiosity pushed me forward. This time, I grabbed my camera. If I was going crazy, I wanted proof. I started walking toward it, the camera rolling, its little red light a small comfort in the dim hallway. With every step I took, a strange thing happened. The hallway seemed to stretch. The door didn't get any closer. It was like walking on a treadmill, a psychological trick designed to wear me down. But it felt like the hallway itself didn't want me to stop. It was pulling me in. Hollow wind, low bass rumble. When I finally reached it, my legs aching, my breath short, I saw something new. There, carved crudely into the dark wood, were fresh scratches. It looked like someone had just gouged it with their fingernails. The scratches spelled out APT-10. My heart hammered against my ribs. Apartment 10, the number from my dreams. My hand trembled as I reached out. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to turn around, to run back to my apartment and barricade the door. But curiosity, it's a powerful, terrible thing, isn't it? It kills more than just cats. I hesitated for a moment. Then my fingers brushed against the wood. It was freezing cold. There was no knob, but there was a slight indentation where one should have been. I pushed. It swung open with an unnerving, silent ease, and what was behind it? It wasn't another room. It wasn't a storage closet. It was my old apartment. Apartment 9, exactly as I had left it. The same boxes I hadn't unpacked, the same dirty coffee mug on the counter, the same cracked phone lying face down on the floor, but something was profoundly wrong. The dust motes in the air were swirling upwards, back into the cracks in the ceiling. The water dripping from the leaky faucet was going back up into the tap. The clock on the wall, the hands were ticking backwards. The lights in the hallway I'd just come from flickered in reverse, their familiar buzz rewinding into silence. I turned to look at the hallway mirror, the one that started this whole nightmare. My reflection was there, waiting for me, and it smiled a fraction of a second before I did. Reversed whisper ambience builds. Panic set in, pure, unadulterated terror. I spun around to leave, to get back to the normal hallway, back to my new life. But the door was gone. In its place was just a solid plaster wall. I was trapped back in the place where it all began. And then I heard it again. That same sibilant whisper that had haunted my sleep, but this time it was clear, right behind my ear. Trade places. I didn't dare turn around. My eyes shot back to the mirror. My reflection was closer now. It was no longer standing in the hallway. It was standing right behind me. Its grin was wider, its eyes dark pits. I did the only thing I could think of. I ran. I bolted for the bathroom, slammed the door shut, and fumbled with the lock. My hands were shaking so hard it took 3 tries. I leaned against the door, gasping for air, my heart about to explode. I slowly looked up at the bathroom mirror above the sink, and my world shattered. There were 2 of me in it. One was me, face pale with terror. The other me, was standing right next to him. It looked at me, not at my reflection, but at me. It leaned in close to the glass, its breath fogging the surface from the other side. And it spoke first, its voice a perfect mimicry of my own, but cold, devoid of all emotion. "You opened the wrong door." Loud knock, metallic echo. And then everything went black. Silence, then a faint hum of fluorescent lights. When I came to, I was standing. My head was throbbing. I was in a hallway again. But this wasn't the hallway of my new apartment or my old one. This was somewhere else. The walls were a sterile white. The lights above hummed with an irritating buzz. And there were doors. Endless doors stretching down the hallway in both directions, farther than I could see. Each one had a number carved into it. 11, 12, 13. They just kept going. I felt something in my hand. I looked down. The camera. It was still recording, the little red light blinking patiently. I must have been holding it the whole time. I turned it around, pointing the lens at myself to see if I was hurt. The screen flickered to life. I saw my own face staring back, but as I watched, the reflection on the screen smiled. It was a cruel, triumphant smile, and it spoke. Its lips moved on the tiny screen, but the voice echoed in the hallway around me. "See you in apartment 11. Fade out. Static builds, then silence. Knock, knock, knock. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you want to find out what happens next, what lies behind apartment 11, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what door we open next. Stay safe out there.